My name is Steain, and I studied the Certificate 3 in acting and then went on to study the Advanced Diploma in Performance. I wanted to be an actor because I love the way that what I do affects people, generally for the positive, it seems. I have a real thirst to get a reaction out of people, and always found that that kind of thing came pretty naturally to me. Being on stage was never something that I was terribly frightened of or backed away from. Always really enjoyed being able to get up there, tell a story, make people laugh. To me, that was really satisfying. Now that I've completed the course, it definitely feels like I've got a far better understanding of the mechanics of what it is to be an actor. And also, when I first started the course as well, I mean, along with many other people, I suffered a imposter syndrome pretty severely. It was always actually quite embarrassing talking about, studying acting and being an actor, where over the duration of the course, you really learn to take ownership of that title, and it's actually more empowering to call yourself an actor or a performer or an artist or whatever title fits you best. You learn to sit with that and be more comfortable with it, and over time people become less questioning and more interested in that way that you look at yourself. So what am I doing now? Well, along with freelancing, doing freelancing acting work and voiceover work, I also work for the Australian government in one of their governmental departments, and I do in my workplace also do quite a lot of communications work, and I've done a couple of voiceovers for a few of their animations that they have for various campaigns in which they're promoting. I also work at the Canberra Theatre Centre, so I'm often seeing a number of professional shows and being paid for it, which is nice. And creatively, I started a theatre company with a few friends named Limbo Theatre. We've put on a couple of shows since 2017 when we were first created. So that's been amazing fun and quite a big learning journey, and also a perfect way to encompass all of the skills that we learned throughout the course and then apply it immediately. So I've been doing that. I was in a few other stage shows throughout the year. This year, sort of travelled interstate for the various screen jobs and presenting work. Yeah, it's been it's been a pretty varied year actually. It's been quite interesting. The skills that I learned during the course that have helped and have been transferred into my corporate job are things like effective communication, being able to read a room, presenting, anxiety reducing exercises. I do a lot of creative work in my corporate job, like content generation. So being able to find angles, find what's interesting in a story, and sometimes it can be super dry material as well that you're dealing with. So having the skills to be able to look beyond what it is that you're actually dealing with and finding the dynamic or the interesting or the narrative, the story, what is in itself creatively rewarding, and has helped me a lot through this year. How do I maintain physical and mental health? Well, I go to the gym every day, make sure I'm eating the right foods, eating a lot of plant-based stuff, which is great. One ingredient, whole foods, and that has helped a lot actually. Diet is key for mental health. That's something that I learned this year. Meditate every so often, do a lot of yoga, a lot of stretching, a lot of mindfulness work. Super important. Breathing into your diaphragm. In fact, if there was one thing that I took out of this course, my time at Carter, it was just the strength of breath and what that means for a person and how that is used. The advice that I would pass on would be to absorb as much of the course as you possibly can. Ask questions, make mistakes. Like, that is so vital. Don't fear failing. Failing is a beautiful thing. All the learning happens there. I think one of the worst things you can do is sit back particularly in a classroom environment, and watch other people get up before you and you constantly go last because you're scared of making a fool of yourself. Be the fool. The fool is probably the wisest person in the room. And it's not always easy to do that, but I think if you really want to take stuff out of this course, that's such a strong place to start. So best memory during the course, there's a few that are fighting hard to be the best memory, but I've got a couple that are the best for different reasons. Firstly, I got to play Hamlet. That's the best because that's really indulgent for me, and I was always really worried about performing Shakespeare, and so getting the opportunity to play a character like that in a story like that was absolutely amazing. Another highlight for me was doing our improvised theatre show, which was supposed to run for 45 minutes and ended up running for closer to 2 hours. I don't think I've ever been so creatively present than I was in a show like that, where you've literally got nothing else but whatever somebody else is saying to you to work from. And it's just this, you can feel the cogs turning in your brain and you're just firing out on impulse, and it's really electric stuff. Another really good memory for me, I think, is as a whole, once you sort of get to the end of the course and things start to click into place and you're like, wow, that was what was a really abstract idea makes sense all the way over here when you're at this part of the course. And so that to me is a really magical thing, that these things click into place and start to make sense to you. And I think just being pushed to do things that you thought were well beyond yourself is a really, really amazing thing that happens here. My favourite unit during the study would have to be a tie out of the writing unit. Again, something that I didn't consider myself to be, didn't identify with, because you've never really written anything before, so how can I call myself a writer? But I was able to, I did it, and now I love it. Similarly with improv, again, different kind of anxiety entirely, and just being able to conquer the fear of not knowing what's going to happen, but then making it up as it happens, super satisfying. And again, Shakespeare, whew, I didn't think that I'd enjoy it anywhere near as much, only because I didn't know it, but just allowing it to happen, going into the process, or allowing the process to sort of just take you away and you're just working through it, and being able to do it is, was an incredible experience. So the reason I chose Perform Australia, or CARTA, as it was known when I signed up in 2015, was because I knew that this is a path that I wanted to go down, and I knew that this place could really help me achieve those goals, and it really has.